Hello, everybody, and welcome to problem 1810. So this is a little bit different than the last one we just looked at, mainly because right over here, this is the contract cost incurred during the year, and then the estimated cost to complete. So when we're looking at that cumulative cost, we're going to have to go through and take that into account. Well, let's go ahead and start up here. So we've got 2020. So my contract costs during the year were $2,880,000. My estimate to complete is $3,520,000. So my total contract costs are going to be $6.4 million. So if I'm doing this using the percentage of completion method, right? So this is my total contract cost. So my contract price is going to be the sales price of my agreement is $8.4 million. My total costs over here are $6.4 million. So my total gross profit is going to be $2 million. So now to get to my percentage completion to date, okay, to figure that out, I'm going to take my contract costs during the year, and I would actually say that the better way to do that would be my cumulative contract costs, which in this case is 2.8 million. My total contract cost is 6.4 million. So my percentage complete is at 45%. So if I'm at 45%, it basically means out of this total gross profit, I'm here at 2 million, okay? Basically my percent complete to date is 45%. Total gross profit to recognize, it's going to be $900,000. My gross profit previously recognized is 0 because this is my first year of the contract. So my gross profit for 2020 is going to be 900,000 less this 0. Okay, so that is for year one. Again, when we're doing completed, when we're doing percentage of completion, what we're trying to figure out is like, okay, I'm going to recognize gross profit as I'm going through and completing the work. So I take my costs incurred during this year plus my cost to complete. This is what I'm estimating my total contract cost will be. So my total gross profit for this job will be approximately $2 million. Therefore, during the current year, I should be able to recognize gross profit to the extent of the work that I did this year. So here I'm 45% through, or this cost to date. And then I'm dividing this by my total contract cost of 6.4 million. Okay. So we're going to call this, though, I'm going to rename this. This will be contract costs to date. Okay. And here, this is going to be 2,880,000 plus 0. This is pretty much the same number. But let's go ahead and go to 2021. Okay, so my contract costs to date for 2021 are going to be a little bit different. My costs during the year were 2,230,000. So my contract cost to date for 2021 is going to be 2,230,000 plus 2,880,000, or what I computed last year. Or basically it's 5,110,000. So this is going to be 2,880 prior plus 2,230 current. Okay. So that's what I have spent so far. And let's make sure that's right. Perfect. My estimated to complete for this is right over here at 2,190,000. Hello. Okay, perfect. So my total contract costs are going to be 5.11 million plus 2.19 million, or $7.3 million. Now, my contract price has not changed. And this is why if you're ever doing a large project, you want to make sure you have a project accountant. Why is that? It's worth its weight in gold. You want to make sure that you're basically able to go through and see and understand where the costs are coming through. So over here, I've got my contract price is still going to be at 8.4 million, but my total contract costs now are at 7.3 million. So the total gross profit I'm going to be recognizing on this contract is going to be 1.1 million. So my percentage complete to date is going to be my cumulative contract costs, or contract cost to date, of 5,110,000. I'm dividing this by my total contract cost, which is now at 7.3 million. So the amount of gross profit that I can be recognizing from this contract is going to be 70% of this amount, because I am 70% complete to date. So here, when I look at my total gross profit, it is 1.1 million. My percent complete to date is at 70%. So the total gross profit to recognize is going to be 1.1 million times 70%. That's the total amount I can recognize. However, I have a problem. What is my problem? Well, over here, my gross profit recognized in 2020 was $900,000. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have a loss on my contract over here of $130,000. This is a very, very important concept. If I run into a loss, even though I'm not really running at a loss, but if I run into a loss and I previously have recognized gain, I need to recognize that loss immediately. So here, I'm going to be recording this loss on contract, okay? So now we're going to go to 2022. My contract cost to date are going to be this 5,110,000 plus 2,190,000, which is my cost incurred during the year. So this is going to be 5,110,000. My costs during the year were 2,190,000, or it's 7.3 million. So here my estimate to complete is 0. My total contract costs here are 7.3 million. My contract price is 8.4 million. My total contract costs are 7.3 million. So my total gross profit is going to be the same. My percent complete is, as of right now, I am fully complete. So my contract cost to date divided by my total contract cost is going to be at 100%. So I'm going to recognize the total amount that I need to recognize is going to be that 1.1 million. So my total gross profit of 1.1 million, basically my percent complete to date is at 100%. So my total gross profit that I'm going to be recognizing on this contract is going to be 1.1 million. However, my gross profit in 2020, I recognized 900,000. I also recognized a loss in 2021 of 130,000. Okay. So in terms of the total gross profit, remember when I add up 930 less 130 plus this number here, these have to equal to 1.1 million. So what this is going to be is going to be 1 million less 770, or 330,000. So let's check our work. Here I've got gross profit of 2020, loss of 2021, gross profit here. When I add up these three amounts, they have, excuse me, they have to equal to $1.1 million. Okay. So when I look over here in terms of looking at this in terms of the completed contract method, what do I recognize? Well, my gross profit in 2020, this will do this here, so completed contract. So my gross profit for 2020, loss, I should say gross profit 2021, gross profit 2022. I recognize nothing in both of these, but in 2022, I will recognize the full amount of the gross profit on the contract of 1.1 million. Now, the one thing about this question that hopefully I've given you one over here that will actually do this, because it's pretty messed up, but it's something I like to do on exams, is that what happens if instead of this being 7.3 million, what if it is 8.5 million? In that case, if I have a loss on a contract, meaning that my cost to date plus my estimate is exceeding the amount of the contract price, under completed contract method, I would need to recognize that loss immediately. This loss is really only happening because I over-recognized revenue and my costs went up. And from a completed contract perspective, I still have a gross profit. So just kind of keep in the back of your mind that if you ever see a situation where it's a total loss, you're going to have to recognize that immediately under the completed contract method. So I want to thank you for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great one.